Hey, my name is Jack. I am a full-time academic advisor at West Shore Community College. My main focus is on the health pathway and the arts and humanities pathway. So we do pathway advising here. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit later. I'm also on the disability services team, and I'm an admissions representative for Mason and Oceana counties. And then also on like a personal level, I am also Ludington native, so Ludington High School grad, West Shore alum myself, and then went on to transfer. So I'm very familiar kind of with the area, and hopefully kind of similar mindset, I guess, of many Mason County students. Probably the most two obvious ones people think of are going to be location. So obviously we're right here for many Mason County students and other students in the area. Right in the backyard, very familiar with us. Many students from the area have either done dual enrollment in the CTE, or familiar with like our rec center, things like that. So very familiar, I'm assuming, with our campus. Maybe have been growing up coming here for like college for kids and things like that. So lots of events probably throughout their lives. So yeah, location's always a big one. The other one is obviously cost. So lots of funding programs available right now. Obviously state funding programs, but then the big thing for Mason County students is the Mason County Promise. So cost is always a big one. Any community college is going to be more affordable than going straight to a university, but we're a little bit unique that we have the Promise and other fundings available. Other ones that maybe aren't as obvious, I would say, are going to be class sizes. So we're going to be a smaller class sizes on average than a big four-year university. I think our biggest class, or the class with the most students, is going to be maybe like intro to psychology. I think it's about 35 students. But I think our average class size is probably more in the teens. So you're not going to be in like a lecture hall with like, 50 to 100 or more students. It's going to be smaller class sizes, more time with the professors. I would say that that's another wonderful thing about here is our professors are amazing. I can personally attest to that since I took classes here myself. I won't say the years, but within the past 10 years, let's say. Um, Other things I would say are going to be general supports. So we do have a lot of amazing supports here. I'll talk about, I guess, advising first, since that's kind of what I do here is we have what we like to refer to as holistic advising. So we kind of like go beyond just helping students register for classes, for instance, what many people might think we do. But we really want to get to know students, have more meaningful conversations, and to kind of understand what ways that we can support them and kind of what would be best for their success. And then other than that, we have great academic support. So we have wonderful academic coaches, which you can kind of think of, I guess, as tutors. That might be a more familiar term for some students. But we do have what are called embedded coaches in classes. So for certain classes like English Comp 1, and some entry-level math classes, that tutor, or the coach, as we call it, will be in the class with students. And it's a great way for the students to get extra support and not have to go to like I guess, a tutoring center and like explain something that's happening because the coach is in the class with students. And we also have, alongside the academic coaches, essentials courses for math and English. So that is an additional support course for students who are interested, where you get additional time with those coaches and the professor to work on your main coursework for English Comp 1 or Intro to Stats, intermediate algebra, quantitative reasoning, so the entry-level maths. So I would say that supports available are a huge thing. Mental health support, disability services, community resource advocate, whole plethora of different supports that we have. Great, I would say, transfer options. So that's going to be obviously another big one for students who maybe don't know exactly what they want to do, but they know they do want to go to college. They can start here taking some of their basic, maybe gen eds. The gen ed, so short for general education, that's going to be courses like your English Comp 1, so English class, your math classes, your science classes. We also have categories in college called social science and humanities. So kind of getting all these basic classes. If you're going to go to a university and pursue some sort of bachelor's degree, you're going to have to be taking classes in these areas. So the benefit of taking these kind of classes here, especially if you're pursuing something like the Michigan Transfer Agreement, is you can get those gen eds out of the way, and then you can transfer them into your university. So then whatever university you're going to, you can more focus on your, I guess, classes of interest or your classes in your program. So maybe a student wants to I don't know, become a nurse and they want to get their BSN. They can go through our nursing program, utilize the promise, and then we have a collaboration with Ferris where they can go on to get their BSN. So that's an example, I guess, of a transfer program. Lastly, maybe I'll just quickly talk about, I would say, student life. So student life is probably another big one. We have great performing arts series. We have guest performers. We have our own concert series. We have humankind events, which is kind of this series that we do every year, and there's a different theme. So this year it's storytelling is the theme, and we'll have guest speakers and fun events throughout the year related to that theme. Great student clubs, student senate, theater for anybody interested in joining our theater, and then the rec center. As a student, you get free access to the rec center, which is great. It's like intramural sports leagues that happen throughout the year and everything like that. So I would say that's kind of a long answer, but all of that would be kind of, I guess, the major highlights of West Shore. Yep. So they are content experts, but the professor is still there. So maybe we'll use the English one as an example. So let's say a traditional Comp 1 class at the moment has about 22 students as the cap. And then if a student signs up for the corresponding Writing Essentials class, that Writing Essentials class is capped at 11. So you're in there with other students, but not more than 11. And you have that same professor and then, yeah, an academic coach. So all the support available to be successful in that main English class in this example. We also have obviously traditional, like I guess you could consider it tutoring hours or coaching hours where a student can like come to the center or schedule an appointment, and that's perfectly fine. But yeah, the embedded coaches is definitely a kind of, I would say, an innovative model that we have. Advising, we can always have conversations with students to try to gauge maybe what their interests are, what their strengths are, maybe what they're start developing the goals. We also have an online tool called Career Coach, which is available open to the public. So if anybody's ever on our main West Shore website, you can just search that in and find it. It has a short 6 question assessment that students can take, or longer, I think like 60 question assessment. Then it gives you various programs and ideas based on kind of your answers. So that's another digital tool that we have that's great. Um, I would say other than that, it might just be coming here to start with your gen eds, and maybe as you're starting to take some of those classes in different kind of a variety of areas and subjects, you might discover something that kind of piques your interest. So maybe you're going to use your professors to ask them, hey, I didn't know I was interested maybe in psychology. Like, how would I pursue a degree or a career in psychology? So you could lean on your professors. The other big thing too, and I'm assuming probably a lot of the high schoolers from this area that are watching this are familiar with, is we do have an annual college and career fair. So that's open to a lot of local high schools. They always come every year, but it's also open to our West Shore students. So that's usually every year in the fall and can be another great way to either one, get connected with potential transfer universities or schools, but then we also have a career site so they can get connected to various people in different careers and kind of companies and employers in the area. So for highlights, I would say we do have summer events. So we usually have an event in the summer called Ramp It Up, which I know if you are a Mason County Promise student, you have potential to earn an additional Educational Supplies Award if you attend that event. So that's a very fun event over the summer. It's kind of like an orientation style slash like let's meet some people and like become familiar with the campus and get engaged and excited to start. So we have performing arts events and theater events that go throughout the entire year, the humankind events. So kind of all those are always fresh and exciting every year. So always just kind of be involved, especially if you're a student. If you're taking one class and you're a student here, you get the free access to those. In terms of programs, I would say, so I'd probably start with health programs since I am the health advisor. So we have a phenomenal nursing program in-house and paramedic as well. Other health programs, we do have these programs under this acronym called EPIC. So that stands for Educational Programs in Collaboration. And there's various programs that we have in MRI, Surge Tech, radiography, CT, medical assistant, LPN apprentice. So that's a whole host of them. All of those are very new, very unique, very innovative. So for any students interested in any of those health programs, please meet with, it would be me, your advisor. Then other than that, we obviously have like our police academy. We have great, programs in the trades. So a great welding program, great electrical apprenticeship program, A phenomenal ECE program, so early childhood education for anybody interested in kind of education in that realm. Business administration or accounting for anybody who's interested more in kind of like the business side of things. Um, in more of, I guess, like the art kind of realm, we have great graphic design or a game design program, um, IT or software development. So lots of different programs. Yeah, I would say the main highlights though would be, at least in my opinion, kind of some of those more health programs that we have at the moment. So the biggest thing, obviously, you're going to want to be a West Shore student. So we do have a admissions application that's just open, should be year round. So students can apply at any time of the year. Obviously, I know we're kind of doing this during college months, and now it's a very common time to be applying for colleges for next year. So yeah, get your West Shore application in. One thing that is unique to, I guess, students in this local area is if you've done CTE or dual enrollment here, you obviously already have a West Shore account. You are still required, though, to submit a new application. And the reason for that is because it's going to change your what's called your candidacy from a high school student to an incoming first year student for next year. And that's relevant for financial aid purposes and to update whatever degree you want to pursue. So please, please, please submit a new application. Um, for new students who do submit the application for the first time, you do also have to complete this thing called orientation that we have in Canvas. So that's kind of the first two steps is get that application submitted, complete orientation. Other than that, the really fun things you're going to do are, submitting your FAFSA. So I know the new FAFSA just opened for next year, so you're going to want to get that done at some point. You want to apply to the promise, which is another big one. Another big thing is going to be sending your high school transcript.
Mhm.
So ideally, you're going to want to send that after you graduate, because once you graduate, it'll have your graduation date, which is important, and then it'll also be considered official. Um, if you request it before you graduate, so most of the schools in this area I know use Parchment. So if you request it through Parchment before you graduate, make sure you click the little button that says hold for grades, and then they won't send it until after you graduate, which is going to be important again. Um, Applying for scholarships is another thing to keep in mind. So a lot of the scholarships will have different deadlines. We do have an internal West Shore Community Foundation application that opens you up to like, I think it's around like 88 potential scholarships. So you'll want to be submitting that when you can. Maybe, I don't know, January, February, March, kind of around those months is usually a good idea. Same thing with like the Mason County Community Foundation scholarships and Oceana County Community Foundation, Manistee, whatever community you're in. So all that's important. And then the biggest thing, which might not be on a senior's mind, I would say in high school, is class registration for the fall opens up in April. So you're still going to be in high school, but you can get registered for those fall classes as long as you've done those steps of, applying, completing that orientation. And that is important for people that are in let's say I'll use the health example since I'm the health advisor. If you're interested in going to like the nursing program, those nursing gen eds will fill up very quickly. So it is very important to make sure you schedule those classes in April so you can get your classes you need and also your preferred schedule. So that's important. And then other than that, it would be like I mentioned, attending those summer events like Ramp It Up and things like that. Um, starting classes in August. That would be kind of all the different things to think of, which I know is a lot, but we are here to help. So that's another thing is like, please just have a meeting with us. The advising team will kind of help you navigate those next steps. We can help make sure you have everything needed for, like the promise or for financial aid, for your classes. We can help with it all. The main thing I would want students to take away is just like don't feel like intimidated or like overwhelmed kind of in this process. We're here to help. Reach out to us. We do meet with students. So us on the advising team, we meet with students year round. Um, that could be in person, it could be a phone call, a video chat. If a student's ever on our main West Shore website and they're on the My West Shore portal, there'll be a gold button that says schedule an advising appointment. So anybody can schedule. You don't have to be a student to schedule. Or they could always just email advising@westshore.edu. And then that'll go to everybody on the advising team, and then somebody will respond. So I would say that's usually the biggest thing. And then we can help you kind of, create a checklist for what you need to do, answer any questions, making sure you're doing everything. Please, please, please don't wait until like all the way in August to be like, okay, I'm going to start doing all these steps. Um, of course, we'll be there to help in that scenario, but it is going to be much more difficult than if you kind of started to do all these things sooner in the year. So.